Okay, we have Coach Harsin. He wants to go straight to questions, so we'll get done. First person to get, Coach, is on your right on the end.
Yes, Mark Murphy from inside the Auburn Tigers. You got 7 returning starters on the offensive line. How long is it going to take you to sort out who your 5 starters are going to be, and when would you like to, what's going to be the process for getting that done?
Yeah, well, we got to do it sooner than later. I know that we've already been in the process of that, watching these guys this summer. You watch them in training, you watch how they lift, you see the strength development that they're making, and you get a pretty good idea of the guys that are really putting themselves in a position to compete and be the starters. Nick Brahms is a guy that played center for us. He's leading, does a great job in all the workouts. He is a leader on our team, and so there's a guy that's going to be playing for us at that center position. And then there's going to be a lot of competition because I've seen, from all of our O-line and D-line in particular, one thing about Coach Pittman's program and being an ex-O-lineman himself, right, the O-line and D-line, there's a lot of focus on that, the strength, the power, the short area quickness, the things that we have to really be elite in those 2 areas has been a major focus. So our guys have gotten bigger, they've gotten stronger, which we need up front on both sides. And when we get into that first week, usually how our camp works, we have a couple days where we're split. We have some of the new guys, selected vets, in one practice. We have the returners in another, some of our veteran players, and then we bring everybody together. And we have a scrimmage on day 8, and after that scrimmage, you got a pretty good idea of where you're going with your 2 deep. And then you have one more, and you're kind of finalizing your 2 deep, you're finalizing some of the special teams, and you start getting into game prep. So these guys are going to have 12 to 16 to 17 practices, and you're going to be using a different combination of O-line because you want to see guys that can play guard and play tackle because you need that. And that's important to me. One year at Boise State, we were 12-1, but we had, I think we're 13-1, but we had 11 different combinations on the O-line just because of injuries and different things. So you want to train guys where they can play tackle, play guard, you have your center position. And what you do is you want to get those, certainly 5, but you want to get those 7 that you really have in the rotation, and who's the next best to go in there. And sometimes you got to move a player that's out to tackle and bring in this next guy that might be a guard. And that's what Coach Friend, our offensive staff, that's what they focus on. We had a meeting about that the other day, and Coach Friend's got a great handle on it, how he wants to do that. And so we'll start getting to that fairly quickly in camp.
We'll go to your left on the front row, Coach.
Gianna Hahn, AL.com, 2-part question. So the SEC Commissioner, your athletic director, Alan Green, and former coach and national champion, Gene Chizik, have all made strong statements about vaccinations. First, are you yourself vaccinated? And if not, how are you talking to your players about getting vaccinated when this is something the school and the league are really promoting?
Yeah. No, yes, everybody's made strong statements. Now, like I said before, there's so much information out there, and what we can do is educate our players on the vaccination, what that means, certainly what the SEC is requiring as far as the numbers and those things. And like I said before, and I've said it with our players, this is a personal decision. We have medical folks. Dr. Goodlett is phenomenal. He does a tremendous job, and he's available for all of our players, staff, anybody that wants to get it or needs more information on it. I have not asked our players. I have not asked our staff. And I'm not going to make a comment on my situation either, because I wouldn't expect my players to be asked that or the staff to be asked that. And that's something that we started a long time ago. And so we're going to continue our education. We're going to continue to keep doing what we've been doing. Like I mentioned before, I think the last 5 months we've had no positives, and our guys have been doing the things we've asked them to do and following the protocols necessary in order for us to go out there and prepare ourselves to play this season. And I expect nothing less. And we'll continue with the education and continue on with the things that we're doing, and then also respect our players and coaches on our staff and their opinions and the decisions that they make.
Coach, to your right on the second row.
Coach Bill Cameron, ESPN 1067 in Auburn. You've obviously got Bo here with you. You brought in TJ Finley through the transfer portal. Is there a quarterback? Will there be a quarterback competition? What do you expect from those two and your offense?
Let me just say this. Every year that I've coached quarterbacks, there's a quarterback competition, all right? And here's what I mean by that. You have your returners. They've played. They've proven themselves. They've been in games and all that. But you also have guys that are hungry to play, and they've also been working. They don't want to be backups. They're doing whatever they can to get on the field. We're going to have a pecking order. Bo will start when we get out into camp. He'll be the first guy that rolls out there. There's a pecking order. TJ Finley's going to have his chance to run with the ones as well. Grant Loy will have his chance to run with the ones as well. I've always done it that way. And then we'll find out with those reps how those guys execute, how those guys handle that group, and then what do they deserve from there. And it's going to be at every position. And so, that's always, is there a controversy, anything like that? No. I mean, there's not a controversy on our team, but there's competition every single day. And, my job as the head coach is to play the best players. And the best players are the ones that go out there and take advantage of the opportunities that they get from the coaching staff, and they maximize it. Those guys have no control over that. The quarterback, I control that. Coach Bobo controls that. You're going to get 10 reps, maximize them. You're going to get 5, make the most out of them. And, when guys start worrying about that, I think that comes from so much external and other people in their lives, like, you're not getting this, you're not getting that. Well, what are you getting? And that's my job, is to make sure they understand, no, this is what you are getting, this is what you have today, maximize it, and this is what we want to see from you. And so TJ has done a really good job. I've liked just his whole approach. He's come in, he's really dove into just getting into that playbook and understanding the details of what we're trying to accomplish, getting players out there, throwing with them, trying to do everything he can to put himself in a position to go out there and compete. And if he's has an opportunity to play, that he's ready for it. And the other guys have done the same thing. And so that is my full expectation of every player on this team, to not come into a camp and be like, I'm good. All right, come into camp and get better and prepare and know that you've got somebody on your team that, hey, you love and appreciate and all that, but he's nipping at your heels now, and he wants to play too. When you have that as a coach, when you got 3 deep and everybody's competitive and everybody's good, you bring out the best in every one of your players, and I think that's what you want to create, depth and competition on a football team.
Coach, to your left on the end of the front row.
Coach Ryan Hennessy, NBC 13 here in Birmingham. It's been quite a year to be hired as a head coach in the SEC, from the new Christmas Eve presser to introduce you to all the way to now. And I hear it took a while for you to even meet the parents of the players. So what do Auburn fans want to know about you outside of the football field? What does Coach Harsin do for fun? What's something about Coach Harsin that Auburn fans want to know about on a personal side?
Oh, good question. Well, it did take time. When we got to the families via Zoom, in order to meet him, it wasn't until A-Day that I had a chance to truly, in person, get in front of our families, which is difficult. Their sons are playing for you. They want to know who you are and what you stand for. And, I'm very committed to the game. I love what I do. I love the people that I'm around. And when I'm not at football, I'm with family. And when I'm with family, we're having a good time. All right, we're gonna get food. A lot of times we're gonna be together. We're gonna be on the lake. That's one of the things that I really enjoy. I'm gonna get on the boat. I'm gonna be on the lake. I was a skier and then a wakeboarder, and jumping the wake and catching an edge and slamming your eyeballs into the water. I had enough of that, so I ended up getting a boat you can surf behind and go 11 miles an hour and throw a rope in, and if you fall, you just melt into the water. And so that is my thing. I'm gonna find some smooth water at 9 o'clock in the morning, and my wife and whoever we can find to flag is gonna jump in the boat, and I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna surf, throw the rope in, and just be free for a while and play some good music and enjoy that. Other than that, I'm into cars. Working on my dad and I, we put together a 69 Mustang Mach 1, and I say we, but he's doing most of it right now. And, that's something that he and I have talked about for a long time. So I get a chance to kind of participate in that a little bit. I know the motor, I know the transmission, I know the rear end and some of those things. And When it's all said and done, it'll be a beast, and we're figuring out how to get this thing finalized and on its way to Auburn, Alabama. But my main focus, and always will be, is my family. My wife, she is unbelievable, and I am so fortunate to have her and in my life, and she really leads the family, and the things that we do together, man, we just have fun. We have a good time. I love my kids, and like I said before, they love being in Auburn, and early on I'm shocked because of where we came from, and I didn't know that, and that's the biggest concern as a father, is your family going to thrive? And they are. So we're having a good time. We're enjoying it. I probably eat a little too much of shrimp and grits right now, so I got to be careful on that. But other than that, man, we're happy to be in Auburn, and those are some of the things we do for fun.
Coach, front row on the left.
Coach Tyler Shaw with KBTX TV and College Station. What's your main focus as you go into year one at Auburn, and what are your expectations for this team?
Number one is that we connect with our players, and I want to know, and what I mean by that is it's not always that you're hanging out with them all the time. Like, what is important to them? What are their goals? What do they want to accomplish? That'll tell you a lot about your team, and you got to put all that together. Each individual has a goal and a dream and something they want to accomplish. Bring that together and then help them understand, all right, you can do these things, all right, but also within how we're trying to accomplish our goals as a team. All right, so understanding that, getting to know our guys, and then really simply just playing good football. I want to see our guys play good football every day. I want to eliminate bad football, and I want our guys to understand what that looks like and what it takes to really do that. So there's a blueprint for that, and it's every single day. And it's how you approach the evening and get yourself prepared and maybe write something down that you want to accomplish the next day and get a visual, or sit there and visualize for 10 minutes, what you want to do, and wake up in the morning, expect to be successful, and show up and do the thing. Really show up, actually. Show up. Be on time. Be there. All right? Care about what you're doing. Trust that this plan in place is going to get you better, and then follow that throughout the day and repeat. That's what we have to accomplish. There's a way to be great at things, not just football, in my opinion, and I want guys to have that. I want them to have that formula. I want them to understand it. They can use it however they want. I just want them to know it. And so it helps us with our football team. It helps them in their life. And when they're done playing football, they're ready for whatever's next. All right? They have a plan. They have habits. They have a process. They're not going to sit there and think, what the hell am I going to do now? Like, you know what? You can't play the game any longer, but you're always going to be a competitor, so what's next? All right, here's how you're going to attack it. Here's a plan to do it. This is what you learned through being an Auburn football player. Go. And, the most exciting things should be happening from that point on. And getting that, because I'm passionate about that. I care about self-improvement and self-development because I know it's going to help us as a football team as well. But those are things that are important to me, and making sure our guys and coaches understand.
Wish we had time for all the questions, but our final one is going right over here, Coach, on the left on the end.
Hey, Coach. Max Cohan, Way 31 in Huntsville. I know the transition from Idaho to Alabama is a pretty crazy one. I made it myself. I'm kind of wondering for you, what have been the biggest adjustments you've had to make both on and off the field?
Yeah, the biggest adjustments now, one is, everybody asks me, are you ready for the humidity? And, I am. Right? I don't know that yet, but in my mind, I prepared myself. I've heard it so much, I am. And I'll tell you what, I've been in 3-degree weather games where I got Vaseline on my face, and I'm drinking chicken broth, all right, in between series and all that. You know what? I'm ready for the humidity. All right, so I'm looking forward to that. As far as just, being in this conference, being at a place like Auburn, football is really important. I love it. Football is really important at places I've been, but here it's really important, and I enjoy that. And through our football team, we can make an impact. When you're on that field and you see a disciplined, tough team play that believes they can win, and I think that makes your fan base and people proud, and that's something that I feel very strongly about. I feel it in the community, so it makes you want to show up every single day and just do whatever you can to get your team prepared to go out there and play like that and represent Auburn the way that we all hope we can. So I've always cared about the teams I've been on and their performances and being successful. I'm just excited about being here in particular, just how important it is, how much support we have, how much I've heard from people that just say, you know what, we love Auburn, and you believe it. And so to be a part of that, to be a part of this kind of environment, that's what's most exciting, probably different, and what I'm looking forward to most.
Coach, thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you.
That concludes the electronic room